In this video, I'll show you how to connect your iPhone to your new Pioneer in-dash receiver using Pioneer's Smart Sync app. Even though your particular in-dash receiver may or may not have a built-in CD player, the button and on-screen operation in this demonstration is identical for the following Pioneer in-dash receiver models: MVHS 310BT, MVHS 312BT, MVHS 512BS, DEHS 4100BT, DEHS 4120BT, DEHS 5100BT, DEHS 5120BT, DEHS 6100BS, DEHS 6120BS. What software do I need to make the Pioneer Smart Sync app work on my in-dash receiver? Let's start with the in-dash receiver. Go to pioneerelectronics.com and download and install the latest firmware update for your particular in-dash receiver. The Smart Sync app will work on all varieties of iPhone, from iPhone 5 and up, operating on iOS 10.3 or higher. Go to the App Store and search for Pioneer Smart Sync. Look for this icon in the store. Smart Sync is a free app from Pioneer. Download and install the Pioneer Smart Sync app on your phone. So I've installed the latest firmware update for my Pioneer in-dash receiver. I checked pioneerelectronics.com for that latest firmware update, and I have the Pioneer Smart Sync app on my phone. Now, before I get started here, I want to make sure that I have a Bluetooth connection from the phone to the in-dash receiver here. And I can see on the in-dash receiver I have a Bluetooth connection. If I touch the telephone button here, that'll tell me that my iPhone is connected. That's the actively connected phone. So that's what we want there. Now, before we get started, let's check a couple of settings on the in-dash receiver to make sure we're all set up and ready to go. I'm going to, from any source here, and I'm on the AM/FM radio source right now, I'm going to touch in on the volume control, and I want to roll along here until I find the System menu. There's System, and we'll press Enter. And now I want to roll along here until I find App Control. There's App Control. That's the one I want. So I'm going to press Enter here. Now, from the factory, this comes set up for a wired connection for the Smart Sync app. But in this case, I want to set up a Bluetooth connection, and we'll come back to the wired connection later. So I'm going to roll over to the Bluetooth connection here and confirm yes. And you can see that the in-dash receiver has already connected to the phone. I just touched my caution screen here, and we'll say pair to the Bluetooth receiver. And you can see that the Smart Sync app is up and operating with my iPhone. Let's go back into that menu system to check a couple of other settings just to be sure we're all set. We're going to touch in on the volume control here, and we want the system settings. Let's go past app control. And if I'm using an iPhone, I want to make sure that I have USB MTP switched off. And my auto app connection. This means to automatically start the app and connect with the in-dash receiver. If you don't want that to happen, you can choose to switch it on or off. Right now it's switched on. If I don't want that to happen, I can switch it off. I like it to automatically connect when I get in the car and fire up, so I'm going to leave that switched on. We'll roll over to the next setting here, which is USB auto on. Now this means that when I plug something in through USB, the in-dash receiver will automatically switch to that source and begin to play a track. So if I want to plug my phone in through USB to just charge it but not switch the source, switch this to off. Now I can plug my phone in through USB and charge the phone, and it won't change the source that I'm listening to. Now I like it to switch the source, so I'm going to leave USB auto switched on. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is back around to our language selection. That's all we need to do, so we'll press the band button here a couple of times to escape. Now, in this case, you can see that the Smart Sync app is not active on my iPhone. I have a Bluetooth connection. I know that because I can see the Bluetooth logo in the screen here. And if I touch my telephone button, you see on the screen it says Harry's iPhone. That's this phone here. That's how I know I'm connected to Bluetooth. So we're in good shape there. But I want to start the SmartSync app, and it didn't automatically start on my screen. So I want to connect the SmartSync app over to the in-dash receiver. So from any source, and I'm on the AM/FM radio source now, press and hold the volume control for a couple of seconds. You see that starts up the SmartSync app. We get the caution screen. We'll say OK there. And here's my code number, 325450. We'll say pair. And the in-dash receiver and the phone are paired for the SmartSync app. Now that's a one-time operation. You shouldn't need to do that other than the first time you make that connection. And you can see right here, we are showing we are connected to the app. Now let's check a couple of settings on the phone so we're all set up to work with the in-dash receiver. From the SmartSync app here, I'm going to touch the gears. And the first thing I want to check is my navigation settings. And under my navigation settings, I have a couple of different navigation apps installed. I want to choose the app that fires up automatically when I touch the navigation button. In this case, I have Apple Maps, I have Waze, and I have Google Maps to choose from. I like to use Waze. So I'm going to choose Waze on the iPhone, put the check mark there. I'm going to use the voice guidance switched on, and we're going to leave that there for right now. So now when I touch the navigation button, that will fire up Waze on my phone for turn-by-turn instruction. Let's go back. On my messaging app, I have WhatsApp Messenger selected as my messaging app to use with the phone. There are a number of different apps that you can choose from to add in there. That's the one I've chosen. Now I'm going to hit the X to get out of the settings. I have no active source on the in-dash receiver right now, but I want to change the way I select sources. So I'm going to touch the music notes down here and one more time. And this brings up my source list. You can see I have a number of sources available to me. I have the radio, the app for music that's on my phone. I have Pandora and Spotify, and I have auxiliary input, and I have Bluetooth audio. And then this is the source off. But I want to add some other things in there. I know I have a bunch of other apps on my phone. So let's go back in there and choose the plus button right here. And I'm going to add in YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, my podcasts, and Amazon Music. And if you have other apps that play music on your phone, they may work here as well. So choose the apps that you want to have in your source list. We'll go back, and now you can see the things that I added in from my source list are available for me to select. So let's switch on the radio. So let's test out one or two of the things that we just set up. How about navigation? We'll touch the navigation button here, and you can see that that powers up Waze on my phone. So you can see on my phone, I have Waze, and I don't have the SmartSync app. How do you get back to the SmartSync app? That's really easy. Just press and hold the volume control for a couple of seconds, and that takes you back to the SmartSync app. Now you can see that we are connected to my, from the SmartSync app over to the in-dash receiver, and that's a Bluetooth connection. I want to make it a wired connection. So we're going to go into the settings on the in-dash receiver, touch in on the volume control, roll along until we find System. There's System, and press Enter. Now let's roll along until we find App Control. There's App Control, and press Enter. So you can see we have the Bluetooth connection right now, and that's over here, so a wireless connection. But I want to use a wired connection. And we'll press Enter to confirm that wired connection. As soon as we do that, you can see that the phone says it's lost its connection. That's okay. Now I'm just going to plug my phone in through USB. So here's my Lightning connection for my phone. I'm going to plug it into the bottom of the phone. And I'm going to plug the other end in to USB. As you can see, the caution screen comes up again. We'll say OK. And we have the exact same type of controls over the in-dash receiver that we do when we have the Bluetooth connection. The operation of the app is exactly the same. Let's go back in and check a couple of those settings on the in-dash receiver to make sure that we're all set up for the wired connection. So I'm going to press in on the volume control, and we'll go to System, and let's turn past app control. We want USB MTP switched off because we're using an iPhone. The next setup here is auto connect the app. That's just like the Bluetooth connection. We want it to automatically connect when we plug in through USB. That's just what happened. And we'll roll over to the next setting, which is USB auto on. If you want the in-dash receiver and the phone to recognize each other and automatically switch to the source, it's USB auto on. If you just want to charge your phone, you can choose to use switch USB auto off. And we'll roll over to the next setting, which is back around to language. We'll press the band button to escape.